Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. CBS News reports that the United States and Iran are expected to sign a preliminary memorandum of understanding early next week. This agreement will initiate a 60-day period of negotiations aimed at securing a long-term, enduring bilateral accord. Under the proposed framework, the Strait of Hormuz will be demined and reopened to secure free trade. In principle, Iran would commit to a 15 to 20-year freeze on uranium enrichment and dismantle its nuclear sites in exchange for staggered sanctions relief. President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he canceled scheduled military strikes against Iran because the key points of the potential deal had been approved by all involved parties, though Iranian state media has denied that an agreement has been finalized. President Trump indicated that Vice President J.D. Vance will attend the signing ceremony in Europe, possibly as early as this weekend, while the president travels to France for the G7 summit. The proposed deal also involves UN nuclear inspectors from the IAEA accessing and securing demolished nuclear sites to manage existing enriched materials. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized that permanent sanctions relief will remain strictly contingent on Iran's commitment and compliance. According to a report by Liberty Times, Iran launched an airstrike on Kuwaiti territory on the morning of June 12, 2026, forcing a temporary closure of the country's airspace. Kuwaiti authorities subsequently confirmed that the attack directly hit and damaged the radar at Kuwait's only international airport, resulting in several injuries. In a letter to the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, Kuwait's Civil Aviation Authority stated that the strike caused severe damage to its radar facilities, equipment, and air traffic control systems. This incident marks the second time in just over a week that Iran has targeted Kuwait's Seoul International Airport. Previously, on June 3rd, a drone strike killed one Indian national and injured 63 others. Although the airspace was briefly shut down following the latest morning attack, Kuwaiti authorities have since reopened it for commercial flights. According to a report by the Liberty Times, Australia recently held 2+2 ministerial meetings with both the United Kingdom and Germany. Following the UK, Australia ministerial talks, Auckland and London, British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper, Defence Secretary John Healey, Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong, and Defence Minister Richard Marles issued a joint statement. The statement expressed deep concern over China's destabilizing military exercises around Taiwan, advocated for a peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences, and reaffirmed support for Taiwan's meaningful participation in international organizations. Furthermore, the two nations pledged to deepen ties with Taiwan in trade, science, technology, and culture. Prior to this, Germany and Australia also held a 2+2 meeting in Berlin, issuing a joint statement that underscored the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs welcomed the statements, noting that this marks the third time Germany and Australia have jointly voiced support for Taiwan this year, demonstrating that maintaining peace in the region has become a strong international consensus. The UK and Australia also condemned transnational repression and called on China to stop supporting Russia's military-industrial complex. According to Jiji Press, the runoff for Peru's presidential election has turned into an exceptionally tight race. On June 11th, the fifth day of vote counting, Keiko Fujimori, the 51-year-old leader of the right-wing Fuerza Popular Party and daughter of former President Alberto Fujimori, mounted a comeback to take a razor-thin lead. The surge in Fujimori's numbers was driven by the counting of votes cast abroad. With 98.23% of the votes processed, Fujimori holds 50.002% of the vote, while her left-wing rival, 57-year-old former Minister of Foreign Trade and Tourism Roberto Sanchez, stands at 49.998%. The gap between the two candidates has narrowed to fewer than 1,000 votes, representing a difference of less than 0.01 percentage points. Following Fujimori's late-night turnaround on June 10th, Sanchez's party requested that the National Jury of Elections invalidate some votes due to allegations of fraud. While Sanchez had previously indicated he would accept the final results, his stance may shift depending on the evolving situation. Meanwhile, Fujimori urged the public to remain calm and wait peacefully for the official results. According to Al Jazeera, more than 60 members of the United States Congress have signed a letter urging Secretary of State Marco Rubio to press Israel to lift travel restrictions on Palestinian cancer patients in Gaza. The group of lawmakers, which includes 51 representatives and 11 senators, called on the Donald Trump administration to facilitate the medical evacuation of child cancer patients and their caretakers, and to secure Israeli guarantees allowing their return to Gaza. The United Nations estimates that approximately 11,000 cancer patients currently live in Gaza under a devastated healthcare system. The World Health Organization reports that 94% of Gaza's hospitals have been damaged or destroyed since the conflict escalated in October 2023, including the Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital, the Strip's sole specialized cancer facility. Lawmakers proposed establishing a medical corridor to connect Gaza to medical facilities in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem, which are ready to treat patients and cover their expenses. Human rights groups have welcomed the congressional push, emphasizing that the Israeli government's approval is the only obstacle to saving these children's lives. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.